Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Haley, clear the air if need be tonight on this topic. No, no, no. Actually, what I'm doing is, I think anyway, I talked to her. Um, I hope you guys don't mind. Is, um, they sure do, XX. I, a lot of people think racism goes one way. Lee Thomas, how can I do his? Okay. Have an early start this morning. One to say be well. Clear the air if need be tonight on this topic. Prayers and love to your faith. How's that for Lee? Akam is, I didn't know you were Jewish, SG. Earlier, I was acting people out, and it was pretty funny. And, hey, Dakota, how are you? So nice to see you. Everybody's going to think I'm crazy because I was acting out slavery is an ancient practice. See, I'm acting out the live stream. But what I really was gonna do, you guys, is Prudently is looking for a really good short story, like something scary. She's gonna read it to us. She has two devices, and it seemed like people didn't mind the idea of reading the other night. So I like it too myself. I loved it. You know, like the thought of listening to Prudently, because she read one time she was reading like a just a short article, and she read it so good. And I've, now that I think about it, I don't think I've had somebody read to me in, God, a long time. And I'm looking forward to it. So, I think she's picking out a good one because she said okay, that she would do it. So I think that's great. And I hope you guys will stick around for it. I didn't want to be. I know that I put that thumbnail, and I want to say hello to everybody who's here because I think it's great. You guys are here, and I, like I didn't want to get. Even though I put that thumbnail, it was just because it does bother me. But the thing is like the person whose picture it was, like I would be able to name. You know, that's why I didn't show it. But the name, I don't know. Doesn't the name doesn't fit the face. So anyway, basically, if it isn't that person, um, then feel free to just come clear the air and say, that it wasn't you. If it is, and you don't want to say anything, if you don't want to say anything, if it was, whatever, 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 doesn't matter. I just felt like if somebody felt brave enough to send somebody such a vile, hurtful message, that I would, you know, Occam, I hope people didn't leave. I hope people know I was just doing voices. Remember? Oh my god, maybe they thought I was mimicking. Oh my god, maybe I'm a horrible person. I hope not. I hope people don't think I'm horrible. I was just doing like what we were doing before we ended the live stream, before we went to Bobbles, when I was doing people's voices. Remember? God, it's funny. I won't do it anymore. No more. I'm gonna drop the link just in case Prudently comes in. But if you guys don't want it to be read to, just say so now, because I don't want to waste Prudently's time. She's such a nice person. We get it, SG. Ah, come, you're funny. Uh, I hope she's gonna do it. Oh God, does that sound like something you guys want? Though, I mean, the other night people wanted to be read. Greetings, everyone. No, I'm sure you're fine. Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot her a quick text and make sure I'm not wrong that she really is gonna do it, because I don't want to be wrong. If loving is wrong. Wait a minute. Hold on. Looks like Lemon Lime Luke didn't show up. My little lemon zinger. Can you guys hear me? That's why I like having a guest, because then I can hear people talking. There we go. Oh, Lee, SG, got in late last night, caught your chat later in the day on replay. Dark web, very scary, SG. Talk soon, night, access, be well. Oh, you are so sweet, Lee. See, I forgot I made up a Lee voice. I already forgot, see, but forget that voice, Lee. Yours is much sexier. It's got a sultry kind of bedroom voice. Hi, Ben. How are you? I mean, I really don't know if Lee's voice does. I was just trying to sleep up after myself. You know what I'm saying? Uh, hello. Come. Yes, it's good. The reading. Is that what you mean? I know. Where's my Prudently? My God. Yep, Tony Timpa. Just stopping in to say hello. I'll be back, SG. Say his name. Tony Timpa. Everybody say his name. People need to say his name. Isn't it outrageous 2003? Crazy. We're gonna get read to if you want to linger around, and if Prudently ever shows up, she must be looking for a real good story or something. I hope she doesn't read to us from the King James Bible. I'm only kidding when I said that. Yeah, I'm sure you don't sound like you're 10. I think everybody, it is. It's pathetic. You're true. That is true, 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 true. It really is. I'm gonna leave that up for a little while. 'Cause that's, you know, it is. It is pathetic how they don't even recognize that, Justine Diamond, that's the reason why. It set a precedent in Minneapolis when, it was a black cop that shot her over across the driver of the cruiser. So, another cop. Can you imagine though, how scary that would be if somebody shot across your lap and he shot her? She had called the police because she heard somebody getting raped behind her house. I know I've talked about her before, but she's the one who saved the ducklings in her skirt. So if you guys get any chance just to look and see, and I know, you know what? It's just the fact that you'll know, but I get it. What are we gonna? If we were to go out there, like tonight, that guy on the freaking screen, he said, well, we all had to gather there because if there was a guilty verdict, we'd have to riot. I mean, come on, man. Fuck that. Just that thought process alone has to be nipped in the bud. And I'm not trying to be mean. And I'm not a racist person. But I'm just saying that's fucked up. Nobody should get to say something like that and think it's okay. That if they don't get their way, that they get to, destroy things. And the thing is this, I guarantee you that if white people did it and black people didn't, we would get arrested. Or if white and black did it, then it would become a race war. So we just have to sit back and suck it up. And I don't like that idea. Sorry. I'm just freaking ranting. 'cause, you know, that's the thing I do. Where's freaking Prudently? She said she was gonna freaking read to us. Now she ain't here. I'm gonna have to, like, just check in. Doo doo doo. Doo 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 doo. And send her, like, a heart and a little emoji with their shrugging shoulders. Oh! And then Akam says, "Give me a sec. Give me a sec." What do you mean, like a secular or a sec? Second. Would you spell it wrong? You got the U? That's what I'm not kidding. Typo? Just kidding. I don't know what's wrong with me sometimes. I think I might smoke too much weed. But, you know, it's good for me, right? Huh? Just because I'm not paying top dollar with a medicine card or whatever they call it, medical card. Who knows? I couldn't read this page to you if I wanted to. It has so many, so much shit on it. Translated into so many languages. Who can even read that shit? This is like Haitian Creole right here, okay? It says, Sa a Sion le hi en poten and pil nan the creek the salt. And free li let la. No, okay, Haitian Creole. Okay, he's speaking another language in Haiti. But Creole, like, isn't that like in like Louisiana? I mean, come on now. Why would they even be talking like that there? Here's another one. I've never even heard of this country. Hmong. It's Hmong. Okay? There's no way I can't even pronounce these things. What is this like? This is just crazy. Maybe if I held it up to a mirror, you read it backwards. I don't know. Well, I don't really speak any other languages, so that would explain it. They have Armenian, Arabic, Cambodian, Chinese. Prudently, I need my bedtime story. I know, see? Right? Alright, first time seeing the video of Timpa. I've seen many of the same kind of overboard treatment. Yeah, but they don't say his name. Oh, Akko. I know, right? I'm taking a screenshot of that right now, and I'm sending it to her. Because she should be here, and she's let me down. She's letting me down, man. I'm gonna send her that right now. I know it's 12:30. That's 15 minutes. What is she doing? She fall asleep? Oh no. She might have. I'm sending it to her right now. Hold on, you guys. So you're breaking XX's heart. Mhm. Here we go. I know, right? I feel like my heart's breaking too. Doo-doo-doo. You guys always know when I'm doing something because I'm like, doo-doo-doo. That's my theme song for it. I'm shaving my yak. I'm shaving my yak. I don't know what's wrong with me. Forgive me. Alright, so, anywho. I can speak a little Italian and Spanish. Cheese. I don't know what that is. I think you mean cheese. I know, heartbroken. I told her, I texted her and said that. And I, like, announced it and shit. Like a fool. I don't like it. Maybe something happened, you know? You never know what happened. Oh, she said, okay, hold on. All right, see? The picture of X's broken heart. That moved her. That got her. That is funny. She wasn't responding until I sent that picture. Prudently, I need my bedtime story. Where are you? And the little crying, broken heart. I think she was going to try to avoid us. Thank God for XX. Put that back up there. Yep. We're waiting. She sounds like a good cook, too. I wish she would cook for me as well. Read and cook. That'd be nice. Tucker has a little dandruff. Where's Lemon? Where's Ace? Oh, I know. Where's Vlad? Where's Vlad? Did he come back, XX, after that? After we couldn't see him? Was it you who said that, or Pink Sam? Maybe it was Pink Sam. Because they couldn't see. I wonder how long is, like, Follows chat, like, all heated, or what? Is it alright? Oh, my dog is a jerk. You guys hear him? My God, I cannot believe she's not here yet. Oh my God. What the fuck, Roscoe, you little dickhead. Oh my Oh my God, this dog is a fucking jerk. I swear to God. It's when he's sleeping. What I have to do is just cover him completely. I need a maid and a cook. I'd be happy too. Isn't that awful? Stop it, you little fucking jerk. Covering you completely. I don't even want to see you. Hear him? Yeah, it was for me. Me too. God dang, Prudently. What is she doing? I'm sorry, we're crying. Crying. I don't know. Maybe it's not a good idea to go on, like, now, freaking, what do you guys think? My dogs have a bedtime, and they know at 8 they need to go to sleep. That's funny. Let me try and see what she's doing. Just whistling, waiting. You set the cats in the chair and have long talks with them. It's like they think it's therapy time. Survivor Girl. Some people would say, "Why are you yelling at the cat like that?" And I didn't like realize that I wasn't yelling really. Even you know how people are. You gotta make it into yelling. But I wonder if I should tell Prudently she can just go to sleep if she wants to, and just have the reading another night because of Bobbles is on, and maybe she doesn't feel good. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Just tell me what you think. Did I see Ben here before? Or was that the last chat? What did everybody eat today? I want to know. Come on, cat. Yeah, and I want to know what the cat did. And then when I went back and watched the cat, it was like especially Lulu, like Tucker just looks like he really doesn't give a crap about what I'm yelling at him about, but I wasn't yelling at him, actually. I was never yelling at any of the cats. It was really just that I was pointing the camera at him. But Lulu looks like appalled, you know? She's like, oh my God, why are you calling me fat ass? You know? Oh, here we go. Finally. Finally.
Well, really? Did you want me to pull a story out of my arse? I mean,
I
come
didn't
on.
know it took you. So it must be a really good one then. If it took you
I,
that long, it must be really good. I
honey,
have to tell
it can't be that. I don't even do ghost stories anymore. I told you that, remember?
no.
I told you I don't usually do it anymore. After I
What?
read,
You don't do it
after,
anymore.
after I read it, and that
You
thing
never
gave
told me.
me nightmares. I
Well, you never told me
completely,
that. Hi, Ace.
okay. Okay,
Welcome
Ace.
to Prudently,
I,
everybody. Or welcome
oh,
Prudently.
jeez.
They're all
Okay.
waiting. See, XX was like, Prudently,
I
I need my bedtime story with her
I
heart
know, I
broken, her
feel
little
bad.
heart
I'm like,
broken.
okay, they're all waiting. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yay, Prudently.
Okay, yay, prudently. Okay. Guys, I hope
Hey.
you are not disappointed by this at all, okay? Because I don't normally read this kind of stories, so,
Oh my
you
God, I'm so
know.
excited. I never get read to. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
I'm gonna
gosh.
mute my
I
mic
should get
too.
you an Audible subscription or something,
Yeah, but I think I need a second device because I did order though some books from the library
Yeah, but
and
I mean, like, you could go on Audible on Amazon, and you get a lot of good books that way, and you can have a lot of things read to you. You know,
oh no, I don't want that.
no, no,
I don't
no,
want
no.
that. I want like
Oh, you want your
somebody
own
I know
personal
reading to me.
person, yeah, to come in and
Yeah.
tuck you in and read you a story, right?
Well, I
Is
don't know
that
about
it?
talking me in, but if you insist.
If you insist, I'll let you.
What's the name of the story?
Well, it's aptly named The Ghost Hunters.
Oh my God, I'm so excited right now. Are you
Oh
guys
my gosh,
excited?
please stop that, because
All
if I let
right.
you all down, you're going to be upset at me.
I'm ready to light a candle
Right?
and turn my lights out.
You
I
guys are
think.
funny. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
wanted
mean,
I wanted to tell XX too. Is I saw something real quick. Did you have a funeral for your mom or something? Is it
yeah,
today?
yeah. Or
It's
she's
coming
coming up.
up.
It's coming up, I think.
Oh, because I wanted to make sure. I didn't know if I was going to see you tonight. It just let you know I was terribly sorry to read that. I really, really am sorry. Oh, that is so hard. I lost my mother. It's coming up on 2 years now, and
Yeah, me too. I just.
my gosh, it's just
Mhm.
so it's very difficult to deal with. So you have my heart there. So okay. I just wanted to let you know that, okay. All right.
Mm.
So I guess we'll go on with
Prudently, Occam says, welcome. You know my friend Occam's razor. Have you seen him before?
yes, yes. I've seen him on here a few times.
Yes, yes,
Hi
he's my
there.
friend.
Is this who the gentleman who takes you cemetery hunting?
No, that is
Oh,
Cassie
okay.
Tipple. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's who?
But Occam, we've known for about 3 years, I think, probably. I've known Occam.
Okay. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Okay.
2 or 3 years, yeah. Quite a while,
Oh,
quite a
all
while.
right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, so
All
we're
right.
gonna mute myself and everybody. Oh, here we
Okay,
go.
I hope you like this, okay? Now, don't throw tomatoes at me if you don't like it, okay? Okay, so this is from the short story series called Ghost Stories. What's it called? Scary Ghosts and Paranormal Horror Short Stories. It's an anthology by, I can't read his name because it's so tiny. I'll get that to you. If anybody wants to know the book or anything, you can let me know after. Okay, but here we go, The Ghost Hunters. Pete and Angela Lee were amateur ghost hunters. Pete knew that someday the Travel Channel would pick them up. Eventually, the executives would see their pitch and give it the green light for production. One day. Until then, he and Angela were stuck at the amateur level. They both had to keep their jobs at the flower shop. Hey, sleepyhead, Angela said, poking him in the ribs. You awake? He looked over at her and smiled. Yeah, sorry. No worries, she said, pulling into the driveway of the house at 33 Beach Street. As Angela turned off the engine, a middle-aged man stepped out onto the front porch. Pete got out of the car, closed the door, and waved politely. The man on the porch, Mr. Dennis Wilson, returned the wave hesitantly before he descended the stairs and walked to greet them. Dennis? Pete asked, extending his hand. I am, he said, shaking Pete's hand quickly. Angela? Angela nodded, tucking the car keys into her bag. How are you? Concerned, Dennis said, his voice tight. Come on in. Pete and Angela followed the man into the house. All around them were wine and alcohol boxes stacked 3 and 4 feet high in the main room. Through an open door, Pete could see the kitchen, which looked as though it was in slightly less disarray. Dennis stopped by a leather sofa piled with blankets and towels and looked at Pete and Angela nervously. The man cleared his throat, smiled weakly, and said, So I really hope you two can help us out here. Well, we hope so too, Angela said. Pete nodded. Now, Dennis, you said over the phone you just moved into the house. Yes, Dennis said, 5 days ago to be exact. You know, I should have known. We both should have. Known what? Angela asked. Something was wrong with the house, I mean. It was a foreclosure. The place had been empty for decades. We got it for next to nothing. And how soon did you start noticing things were a little different? Pete asked. First night, Dennis answered. My wife Kathleen and I both heard a few creaks and groans. Nothing too strange, you know. I mean, the house was built in 1872, so it's bound to make some noise. We've lived in old houses before, but this was different. He shook his head. It went from creaking and groaning to sounding like something was running through the damn walls the second night. We were worried maybe a squirrel or something got trapped, so we called pest control the next morning. The guy came in and there was nothing, not a thing. Not any mice, birds, squirrels, absolutely nothing. He even said it was kind of strange because usually there are at least mice. Okay, Pete said, so we can rule out animals. Did the noises continue? Oh, yeah, they got louder the next night. By night 4, my wife couldn't take it anymore. She couldn't sleep. The next morning, she went to pack up our 2 cats and she couldn't find them. Are they outdoor cats? Pete asked. No, Dennis said, shaking his head. We never let them outside. And all of the windows and doors were closed. We searched all over the place for them. All we found was some fresh scratches in the hall on the floor. Did your wife leave soon after that? Angela asked. Not until later in the day. We spent so much time searching everywhere. But before night, yeah, she left. Last night was the worst. I didn't sleep at all, and usually I can sleep through anything. It's like whatever is here wanted me to be up. Every time I started to drift off, bam, something would wake me up. Dennis sighed and rubbed his neck. I called you guys yesterday because I was talking to the neighbor about it, and one of them had seen a segment on you in the news a while ago. Are you planning on staying here tonight while we investigate? Pete asked. Dennis shook his head vehemently. Oh, hell no. I need to get some sleep after last night. I'm giving you the key. Just lock up in the morning when you're done. Leave it under the doormat for me. My wife and I need to figure out what we're going to do with the house. I think New Hampshire has some sort of law about failing to disclose a haunting, but I'm not really sure. I understand, Pete said. We'll gather as much evidence for you as we can, and we'll document everything we find. Please, Angela said sympathetically, try and get some rest. We'll be in touch tomorrow morning about 9 or so. Dennis nodded and dug his hand into a pocket, then pulled out a silver house key on a ring and handed it over to her. Here, like I said, just leave it under the mat. Good luck tonight. Thanks, Angela said, slipping the key into her pocket. Dennis glanced around, grabbed his car keys from the sofa, smiled tightly, and left the house. Sounds pretty active, Pete said, after they heard Dennis's car pull out. You said it, Angela agreed as she looked around. Where do you want to set up gear? What do you think? Maybe this room, our base of operations, Pete asked. Yes, definitely. Then we can put a kit in the bedroom. Hall, too, if we can see the scratches left by one of the cats, Pete added, nodding to himself. Okay, let's get everything set up and ready to go. Pete smiled at his wife, and the two of them went back to the car. They pulled the black card case out of the trunk, the bag of batteries, and the bundles of cords. With everything gathered up, they went back into the house, and the two of them working together in silence. It took nearly an hour to get each piece up and running. They had motion sensors, audio and visual recorders, Wi-Fi boosters, and a slew of specialized equipment carefully purchased over the years. By the time the sun had set, Pete was pouring coffee out of the thermos and into two small cups. Thanks, Angela smiled at him. She looked at the pair of laptops they had set up. This should be a pretty good night. If he and his wife were actually experiencing what they thought they were. Well, guess we'll find out, Pete said, taking a sip of his coffee and wincing. Still too hot. Angela snorted. That's why it's steaming. Ha ha ha, Pete said sarcastically as he put his cup down on the small folding table that had laptops stood on. You're pretty funny. Yeah, I know. Well, they settled down into the relative comfort of their folding chairs, slipped headsets on, and prepared themselves for a long night. A single work light stood behind them, casting just enough illumination for them to see and work by. Time passed slowly. It was typical of most investigations. They might see an orb or perhaps even a power spike on one of the sensors if they were lucky. I mean, he hoped they would. After several hours, though, nothing had happened. It wasn't unusual, only mind-numbingly boring. Pete couldn't engage in mindless chit-chat or discuss real concerns when they were on a job. He and Angela needed to remain focused on the task at hand. While 11 edged closer to midnight, Pete finished off the last bit of his cup of coffee. The drink was cold now, but he had nursed it long enough. He knocked back the last mouthful, grimaced at the bitter aftertaste, and poured himself another one. Then he put the thermos away. A loud noise reverberated throughout the headphones, and he looked sharply at Angela. Her eyes were wide as she peered at her laptop. Pete leaned in, and the two of them looked at the display. The noise had originated in the hallway, the motion sensor flashing brightly. Each time the audio sensor's readout spiked, the lights on the motion detector increased their rhythm. Nothing was visible, not a faint mist or a free-floating orb. Nothing dark except for a deep shadow to the left of the stairs. Even with the infrared lens on the camera, they couldn't see into the shadow, although the claw marks of a cat stood out starkly on the wooden floor. Do you think we could adjust the camera and get a better look into the shadow there? Angela asked softly. Yes, Pete whispered. Be right back. He slipped the headset off, stood up, and stretched his legs. Then he pushed past the heavy tarp they had hung up in the doorway to block the light of their command center. As the plastic sheet fell back into place, he made his way as quietly as possible in the darkness to the hallway camera. His progress was announced by the squeaks and squeals of the old wooden floor. Decades of constant travel had loosened boards as well as the subfloor, and the nails no longer gripped as they should. Finally, Pete made it into the hallway. Everything was dark, save for the flashing green lights on the motion sensor. It still continued to read movement in the shadow. Pete paused behind the device. He tentatively extended his hand, trying to see if there was a cold spot. There wasn't. With a sigh, he squatted down, adjusted the camera's tripod, and slid it a little closer to the corner. While the entire hallway was dark, he could still see slightly. Ambient light from the street beyond filtered in through bare windows. None of it penetrated the corner. Pete moved the motion center and the audio recorder, making sure they both had a clear line of sight into the dark shadow. Something scurried by in the darkness, and Pete straightened up nervously. His heart raced, his mouth went dry, and he wondered what the hell it was. After a moment, he thought it must have been one of the cats, and he called out softly to it, Kitty, come here, Kitty. When no cat was forthcoming, Pete got down on his hands and knees, crawled a little closer to the shadow, and called again to the cat. That the damned animal was caught in the walls, Pete thought as he moved further in. A hiss sounded to his left, in the deepest part of the shadow, and he rolled his eyes. The last thing he wanted was to see if there were any band-aids left in the first aid kit in the car. Cat scratches would not be enjoyable. "Here, kitty," he whispered again, and he froze as something brushed his ear. It hadn't been a cat's whisker or even fur. It had been hard, dry, and rough. From the front room, Angela yelled, "What the hell was that?" Before he could ask what she was talking about, something grabbed both of his ears. Stars exploded in his eyes as his head was thrust down to bounce off of the floor. He let out a pained moan and collapsed with all the grace of a gutted fish. His ears rang and light burst into the hall, causing him to close his eyes tightly. Hands grabbed his wrists, and he asked in surprise, "Angela?" Her yell forced him to open his eyes, and a scream of shock and horror was torn from his mouth. Angela was running toward him. She wasn't the one holding on to his wrists. Pete wasn't even sure what gripped him. The creature was short and stout, clad in worn, ill-fitting clothes. Its skin was a mottled gray with spots of dark green, and its head was squat and nearly shaped like a football. It grinned happily at him. Its teeth were disturbingly black and sharp, and there were far too many of them. Hands, which seemed to be too large for its body, gripped Pete's wrists. Off to the left, he saw that a section of the hallway, the dark corner, was open. A small passage extended beyond the wall. The lathing and horsehair plaster were visible. Several other creatures, similar to the first, crowded the entrance, watching everything intently. Then the creature began to drag Pete toward the small doorway. As Pete struggled to free himself from the strange thing's monstrously strong grip, Angela reached them. She paused only for a moment before she aimed a kick at the creature's back, her sneaker landing squarely and loudly. The beast let out a shriek and dropped Pete, turning quickly to Angela. But even as it did so, she kicked out again, hitting it in the face and sending it sprawling backward. Shrieks rose from the creatures watching from the doorway, and they came rushing out. They swarmed over Angela, bringing her crashing to the floor. More raced from the passage to grab hold of Pete again. Angela's screams shocked him. His own cries joined hers as hundreds of teeth found his flesh. Pete started to shriek as his clothes were stripped from his body and the hideous things began to eat them. His throat felt as though it would burst from the force of his howls. A hand gripped his right ear and tore it from his head, while sharp teeth severed tendons and shredded muscle. Again, Pete tried to twist away, but his head was held firm. As he opened his mouth to scream once more, a small hand darted into his mouth and ripped out his tongue. As Pete and Angela were slowly devoured alive, the camera remained on its tripod, silently recording the gruesome and bloody feast. The end.
Wow. I
Did you
didn't
like it?
expect them to not get out of it.
I didn't either.
I thought they were gonna live. I thought it was like there was gonna be a ghost. They were gonna live, see something creepy.
Nope,
I didn't
I
know they
guess
were gonna.
not. Hey, you said short stories.
Yeah, right. Because this is a real Travel Channel story.
Right.
I won't be traveling there anytime soon. Oh my God. It reminded me of when I was little and I had seen a movie of the week, and it was called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. And it
Oh,
had,
yeah.
yeah, do you remember that?
I think I do. Yeah, don't be afraid of the dark.
Yeah, and it had Timothy Hutton's father in it. And then
Oh,
I think it was, was it not Burlies? I don't think it was
Burl
Burlies. It was,
Lives.
who?
Burl Lives.
Not Burlies. It was the guy who played he was in that animal show too, and then he was also, I think, he was Rocky's trainer,
Rocky Street. Oh, I know who you mean.
the old
I,
skinny
I
guy.
do know who you mean. Yeah, that's
I
not
know,
Burl
right?
Lives, but I do know who you mean. Yeah.
A said, "Awesome, thank you, Prudently, awesome."
You're welcome. Hey, I
And
downloaded the Kindle book
damn, I
here,
thought it
so
was just a damn ghost cat in the wall. I know that was so more horrific than I thought it was gonna be. I
well,
got to,
uh,
the teeth sunk into his tendons.
I
And
know.
when they
Ooh,
knocked her to the floor, I was like, oh, these two are fucking doomed. Yeah,
they're doomed. Well,
they're doomed.
I bought the whole book here on it's on actually no, I got it free on Kindle, so I didn't buy it, but I can read
What?
another story another night.
Oh man, I kind of want another one now. What do you guys think?
Another one,
You guys
okay.
want another one?
Don't
See
force
what
him to
they
say yes, please.
No, I won't. I'm trying to still
Okay.
think of. No, Meredith. Is it Meredith? Burgess Meredith.
Burgess Meredith, that's it. That's
Burgess
right.
Meredith was
Yep.
the one who. Oh, see, look, please. And then Ace said, "Good to hear you laughing again." We were on earlier, Prudently,
Oh,
and
were
I was
you?
doing everybody's voice, and like
Okay.
I was acting out the live stream.
Oh,
Oh
jeez.
my god, I thought it was funny. I don't know if they thought it was funny as me. Uh, yeah, yes, please, please, yes, please.
That's funny.
Ace really wants it. Does anybody else want another story?
Oh my gosh, you're kidding
I know
me.
Bobbles is on, but it was heated there, so I wanted
Oh,
to break up
was it?
the yeah. Look, XX says I'm down. I'm down for it. How about Occam and Pink? Are you here still
Yeah, they
too?
may not.
Oh come on, Occam and Pink.
I don't
They
know. Like I said, I have no idea if any of them are any good.
We'll risk it with you. Just
We'll
pick a
risk
title, like, or you want to read out the titles? Like, is there like a the
a
yeah, I can't
um,
index. Is that what it's called?
index. Yeah, the
Or contents, table of contents.
table
Is
of
that it?
contents. That's it. Table of
Mm-hmm.
contents.
That
Hey,
was
there's
funny,
one
right?
here.
With
Let's see.
the yes, yes, yeah. I said,
Here we go.
uh, see, I lost my
Oh, you were
Australian
trying to do.
accent.
Oh, you were trying to do accents.
Well, XX was always the Russian, like she was sexy. She was like Natalia. She would be like, I had to leave that life. Too much for me. And I don't even know where Vlad went. Usually
Yeah, where's
uh,
Vlad?
yes,
What
the
was
Pink
her
says, yes, please, story.
what did they
Yes,
talk about on
please.
her live tonight? Was it a subject or a
Yes,
topic?
it
I
was a
mean,
subject, but it was
oh,
not her normal, like, lackadaisical subject, like,
yeah.
where you laugh and joke. It was very,
Oh,
it was, yeah. It was
oh,
great, mate, with the accent. It's so funny. No, I can't get the Australian. Can't get it.
that's funny.
Can't do it. I had
I
it
think an
before.
Aussie accent, yeah, that's a pretty tough one
It's hard.
to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was hard. I can't do it. I'm gonna have to practice, Ace.
Got
But
to practice.
so, do you want to like read like some titles, or do you want to just wing it
Let's
and open
see.
up to one, or pick one yourself?
Hold on. I'm getting a drink. I'm quite parched now.
Okay, all right.
You
And read
know.
slower. We're not that fast
Oh,
as you.
read slower. Oh, okay. I didn't know.
You didn't
That's
see
it.
my
I
middle
talk
message. I go,
fast, so.
slow down.
Oh, okay. I'll slow down. I'm sorry.
I gotta
I
get
did.
that Australian one going. It's like, okay, Pink Sam. They're English, but let's see. Mine would be. I think Vladimir got
They.
upset. I think so too. I think he thought when I put yikes, Vladdy, that I meant yikes, Vladdy, like he was saying something bad. But what I meant was the
Mhm.
guy on the panel called Vlad Vladdy,
Oh,
and that's
Vladdy.
what I meant. But I want Vlad to come back, but he might. Remember, he said he was driving, but I don't know. He
Oh,
needs to get his Vlad ass back here.
Vlad's fast. That's
uh,
funny. Well, maybe
uh,
Vlad, if you don't tell him, pull the car over.
here's Pink. I love the stories. But see, that's not Wales. See, but all I can do is English.
Oh, you're trying to do
And
Wales.
he
Wales
says
is a little different than
it is.
typical UK, right?
It absolutely is, and I can only
Yeah.
do North. Yeah, Pink,
My dog is
same.
Welsh. My husband always calls
Your
Welsh
dog is
people
Welsh.
nasty. I don't know why. My husband worked with some Welsh men. He did some work anyways with some, And he was like, I always called him Nasty Welshman. I was like,
Nasty
really? That's
Welshman.
why my dog acts up. He'll go, you got a nasty Welsh dog.
I thought he was from Canada, your dog. I thought he was from Newfoundland.
He's a
Newfoundland.
oh, that one, that's the big one. He's a Newfie, yeah. But the
Oh,
corgis are Welsh
oh,
Pembrokes.
well.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
well, that
Welsh
makes sense.
Pembrokes.
Yeah. Send me the link. I'll send you the link. Remember that thing I showed you?
Yes.
That cracks me up. I'll send you the link. Have you got the source? Yes, I've got the source. You
That's
snowflake.
funny.
Oh my
You
god.
snowflake. Yeah.
Oh, it cracks me up. So he thinks that
Oh,
I've got an English accent. Oh, see, no, but that's more like Izzy, right? The dog
uh,
Welsh. I always wonder how
Izzy's,
animals know different
yeah, but
languages.
Izzy's Scottish,
She's Scottish, and I was in
right?
a live stream tonight. Somebody called Hell Freezer, and he usually reads
Hell
stories.
freezer. Wow.
Yeah, he usually reads stories, narrates like scary
Okay.
stories.
Yeah.
But tonight he was like gaming. So
Oh,
normally when he's doing the stories, there's a lot of people in his live streams. But tonight, because it was gaming, there was only
yeah.
like 15 people in. So I
Right.
had said, "What is your accent? Is it English or Scottish? Sounds more
Mm-hmm.
like Scottish." And he said, "Oh, Survivor Girl, you got one strike." He said, Scotsman, whatever want to be called in English. So then I said
Yeah.
about haggis. I go, haggis, icky. He goes,
Oh,
second strike, second strike. I
that's
said, I've got
funny.
to get you talking to Izzy. Yeah. So go ahead. What have you picked for us?
Let's see what we got. Let's go with what do we got? Hold on. I think I shall pick. Oh, hold on one sec. Let's see.
Hmm. Maybe you
Which
should do accents.
Look, let's not get fussy here, okay? Don't get too fussy. And people, I might need to take down a little drink here and there, okay? All right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're hanging right on. We're liking
Okay.
it.
Yeah, you're hanging on my every word, aren't you?
Yeah, I was like, oh my
All
god,
right.
tell me they're not gonna get killed.
I'll try to slow down, people. It's
Okay.
just for you, because
Okay.
I love you. All
Ah,
right.
we love
Let's
you
see.
too.
The dog Welsh. Oh, okay. Oh, I was just reading the comment
I
from
know.
Ace, the dog. Well, I always wonder how animals know different language. I know, isn't that amazing? How they can pick up your different languages? Like,
It's just
a
like
lot of,
babies. Same
I
thing.
know, same thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, let's see. This one is called The Rosary. Okay. I shall slow down. Tell me if I'm going too slow. Okay. If
That's
I go too
so
slow,
you don't
too
have to like
fast.
oh
All
be
right.
slow like that,
No,
but
I
you know what I
know,
mean.
I know. But I know, you know what
Act
it
out
is?
the voices. Act out the
I
voices.
talk fast. I do talk fast. I know that. It's a
Act
thing.
out the
It's a
voices.
thing here. All right, here we go. The Rosary. Same book
Okay.
and all. Okay. All right. Connor looked through the haze of tobacco smoke from his pipe at the morning light as it crested the horizon. A flock of turkeys moved through the tall grass, their dark feathers flushed with the sun's glow. The pair of toms that watched over the hens stood a little distance away from their harem, tails spread out and wattles bright red. Connor grinned, tipped his hat in salute to the birds, and stepped off of his porch. His knees and hips ached. Decades of farm work had punished his joints, worn down his muscles, and beat upon his back. Over the years, he had sold off bits and pieces of the land. Young folk, hell bent to make money on corn when you couldn't even give it away. Connor shook his head, settled his pipe firmly in his mouth, and put his hands in the pockets of his worn work overalls. His feet followed the same path he had tread every morning for 37 years. 62 steps from the back porch to the right wall. Gray stones piled over generations to mark the pastures and the fields. He reached it after a few moments and turned left. With the wall on his right, he followed it along the acres he still owned. Connor knew where each stone should be, the placement of every rock. Some he had put up with his sons, some alone, and others with his father and his grandfather. He knew the wall intimately, and it helped him prepare for each day. When he reached the far corner, he came to a stop. Just beyond the wall was the new road. At the junction of stones, Connor found one had fallen, a rare but not unseen occurrence. The stone was a roughly triangular piece of granite that glinted in the morning sun. Connor grimaced at the pain in his hips as he squatted and picked up the stone. He went to replace it and paused. In the granite's former seat, he found a rosary. Connor gently removed the religious item. Behind it was a small envelope sealed in wax paper, and Connor withdrew it as well. With a shake of his head, he put the stone back properly in its place. He straightened up, winced at the audible pop from his right leg, and held the rosary up to the morning light. The beads were pale gray, connected by delicate links of steel. The crucifix was of steel as well, the image of Christ, potent and powerful, his suffering nearly unbearable to behold. How did you get here? Connor wondered, turning the crucifix over. On the back, he found an inscription. Jonathan, come home to me safely. Mother, October 9th, 1943. Connor held the rosary in his hands and looked at it. Why were you in my wall? He thought. Once more he read the inscription. Jonathan, come home to me safely. Mother, October 9th, 1943. Jonathan, 1943. Connor's eyes widened. Jonathan Farley, Connor realized. He remembered the funeral. He had been a boy, and the Farleys had lived on the next farm over. Jonathan had died somewhere in the Pacific. He had been killed by the Japanese. But why were you in my wall? He wondered as he held the rosary in one hand and opened the envelope. It contained a letter written on one side of heavy cardstock and was no bigger than a postcard. The penmanship was neat and precise. To whom it may concern, I have placed this rosary, which belonged to my son, Jonathan, here in this wall. This part of the field was his favorite, and I always thought it a shame he had died before ever seeing the sun rise from it again. I've taken the liberty of placing his crucifix here in hopes that his spirit will be at peace. If you find it, I ask you to leave it. I am certain it would make his troubled soul happy. Mary Farley, June 1945. Connor read the letter again and shook his head. Has it been here for 60 years? He sighed and put it into his breast pocket along with the rosary. The wall's mine, Connor thought stubbornly. He shook his head and turned to the left. The beads were surprisingly warm against his chest, as though they had been in the sun and not behind the rock. One of the tombs looked up, watched him for a moment. Then the turkey. Oh, I'm sorry, let me go back. One of the toms looked up, watched him for a moment. Then the turkey returned to the concerns of hens, food, and predators. Connor smiled, finished his walk, and returned to his house. He poured himself a glass of water, carried it into the den with him, and sat down to read the morning paper. There was little he considered newsworthy, but like his walk, the paper was part of his daily ritual, as was the water, which he drank slowly. Soon he finished the paper, closed his eyes, and thought about the stories he had read. Heroin arrests in Nashua, bank robbery in Nashua, the president of the local chamber of commerce in a bit of a situation because a lurid email sent to the coach of the Hollis High School's cheer squad. Nothing new, Connor thought. The heat of the rosary in his pocket flared up and his eyes snapped open. It felt as though the beads were made of fire. He snarled at the sudden pain, dug the beads out, and held them in his hands. Beads and steel and crucifix were cool to the touch. For a moment he looked at them with worry and wondered if dementia had decided to rear its ugly head. It had with Janice, and now he had to visit his wife in the nursing home. The illness had made her too difficult to handle. Connor sighed, looked at the rosary, and a memory flashed before him. The funeral of Jonathan Farley, the whispers. Jonathan's brothers speaking of the horrific deeds their older brother had committed. The human skulls he had mailed home. The rambling letters detailing the atrocities he had witnessed and had participated in. The war had claimed Jonathan in more ways than one. I doubt looking at the sunrise would have eased his soul, Connor thought, and then he set it down on the coffee table. He stood up, finished the last bit of water, and returned to the kitchen to refill the glass. His steps were slow, and he worried again about dementia. He reached the sink and froze as something crashed in the den. Connor stood immobile, one hand above the faucet, the other wrapped around the glass. A soft, low noise reached his ears, and Connor stiffened. Someone's crying, he realized. Someone's in my house. He put the glass down, opened the silverware drawer, and pulled out the small, snub-nosed revolver he kept tucked in the back of it. He reached a little further back, found the box of shells, and quickly loaded the weapon. With a snap of his wrist, Connor locked the cylinder in place, cocked the hammer back, and held the pistol out protectively. He carefully walked back to the den. He tried to remember if he had heard anyone on the front porch, or if he had foolishly left any of the windows or doors on the first floor unlocked. Nothing came to mind. The sound of the person's sobs grew louder, and Connor's heart beat quicker. A few steps away from the doorway into the den, he stopped and took several long, deep breaths, forced himself to calm down, inhaled through his nose one last time, exhaled, and quickly went in. A man knelt in front of the couch with his back to Connor. Fine sand was strewn around the room, as though an entire section of beach had been transported into the house. The man was in the center of the sand, and Connor realized the stranger wore a faded olive drab uniform. "Who are you?" Connor demanded, keeping the pistol up and pointing at the young man's back. The stranger's shoulders shook, his head bowed. Connor worked his jaw nervously, tried to figure out how the man had gotten in, how sand had gotten in. "Who are you?" Connor snapped. The stranger's head lifted up, and he sniffed loudly. "Did you see what they made me do?" the man whispered. "Son," Connor said, "I've got a gun pointed at your back. Unless you want me to put a bullet in you, you best answer my question." "Did you see what they made me do?" the sobbing man repeated. "Son," Connor said again, and the gun went off in his hand. He staggered back, surprised, shocked, and horrified. He looked at the man and waited in fear for the blood to appear on the stranger's back. Nothing happened, nothing at all. Then something finally did. Connor could suddenly see through the disturbed stranger. He could see the couch. Connor saw the bullet hole in the piece of furniture. The man stood up and turned around. He was a handsome young man, perhaps 18 or 19 years old. He was also stunned, as though he couldn't quite believe what had happened. He was Jonathan Farley. The stunned look slipped away, replaced by fierce anger. "I wanted to watch the sunrise, and they came over. Hundreds of them," he hissed. "Look at what they made me do." And it was then Connor saw what Jonathan had in his hands. In the left hand was a huge fighting knife. The steel was dark red with blood. Looped around the hand, and the weapon's hilt was the rosary Connor had found in the wall. The young man's right hand tightly gripped the short, dark hair of a severed head. Dead eyes looked up. The mouth was slightly agape, and blood dripped from the ragged strips of skin around the neck. Each crimson jewel struck the nearly white sand and vanished. "Look what they made me do," Jonathan repeated. He held the head up higher for Connor to see better. The old man couldn't respond. He could only stare in horror at the grisly trophy. The ghost looked at it, shook his head sadly, and then cast the item off to the side, where it thumped against the leg of Connor's roll-top desk. Jonathan brought the crucifix up to his lips, kissed it, and let it go. Connor watched as it swung freely from left to right and back, a messianic pendulum. The young man pointed his knife at Connor and once more began to weep. Before Connor could ask him why the tears had started again, the young man lunged at him. Frantically, Connor turned and tried to run, but his boots could gain no traction on the curious sand scattered across the floor. He felt a hot hand on his shoulder, and a second later, something terribly cold plunged into his back. Connor tried to breathe, but the air rushed out of his mouth. He sank to his knees and coughed as the icy foreign object was removed from him. The burning hand guided him to the floor. Connor was rolled onto his back as he struggled to breathe. Jonathan knelt beside him, tears spilling down his pale cheeks. Connor felt fingers work their way into his hair, squeeze and pull down and back. His throat was exposed, and he could see the young man raise up his left hand. The last thing Connor saw was how the crucifix caught the morning light and glowed within it. The blade of the knife was red with fresh blood. I should have left it in the wall, he thought. I should have left the damn thing in the wall. The ghost plunged the knife into Connor's neck and sawed at the flesh. Look what they made me do, the young man whispered, weakening. Look what they made me do. The end. Okay.
Yeah, you are gore and gore.
Gory. That one was a little gory.
Yeah, they are gory. Is that what it's called? Gory stories?
No, that one was called The Rosary.
No, I know, but I mean, it's a book called
Oh,
Gory Stories.
the book is called Ghost Stories, Scary Ghosts and Paranormal Horror Stories, Short Anthology.
I
Blah,
wonder
blah,
if
blah.
everybody dies in them.
Sounds like it. The first two, anyway.
So far, the first two, yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to
Yeah.
put like a little check. Oh, when you're at the computer, you can't even check it, right?
I don't know. I might be able to. Yeah. You can let me know.
Yeah, so we know
How's
so
that?
far it was the Rosary and the Ghost Hunters that we've had so far.
That's it. That's it.
I like them.
You know?
I'm gonna read. Also, I had ordered this book from the library. It's The Ransom of Mercy Carter, and it's about. It's a short one, you know. It's about the Deerfield, you know, the whole Indian thing
yeah,
and how they
yes.
marched them, and how she, you know, her father tried to. In fact, when I was at that Deerfield cemetery, some of the family members were there, and he had tried to pay ransom to get her back, but she didn't want to come back. She stayed with the Indians, and so did her brother.
Was there a picture of that? There's a couple pictures I've seen with children like on the shoulders of Indians, like, or being held by them.
Right, I put those for the thumbnail. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I thought, oh wow, you know.
Yeah, they stayed with. Well, it was like any sign of weakness shown on the trek from Deerfield to Canada, and it was done like February 28th.
Yeah.
So it was, you know, cold, you know, in Massachusetts, right? Going up to Canada.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wonder which way they went. You know what I mean? They must have gone up through. I wonder if they went up through
Deerfield,
Vermont,
then through Vermont.
Vermont. Okay.
Yep, through Vermont.
Through Vermont.
Yeah. XX said, "I thought the crying was going to be the mom."
I know. Me too. I haven't read them before anybody. So
I knew it as soon as it said if you remove it.
Yeah.
I knew that guy was doomed. He put it in his pocket all cocky. I mean, come on, you for real? Who's going to keep that after there's a note like that?
Yeah, I know.
Right? Huh? I wouldn't risk it for a rosary. I'd be like, here you go.
Yeah. Just leave it in the wall.
Yeah, you should have just handed it to the leave it there at the wall. I wouldn't want to see what happened, you know.
This afternoon when I was coming back from my daughter's doctor's appointment, I was coming past the Salem Cross Inn, which I told you about is not far from me, and that was the site of a lot of Indian attacks, but specifically there, it was attacked while it was being built, and the contractor gave up on it, you know, and that was back in, I don't know, late 1700s, I believe. And then they did find somebody eventually to finish it, but it took a while because there were so many Indian attacks there on that piece of property. But they were coming down from Canada.
Yeah, those are the Mohawks or the.
I forgot actually. I don't know if they were Cree.
I just, when I was doing that video, I read the plaque, and it was
Well, you know, the funny thing I thought about that too is that place has like 600 acres and a lot of it's wooded, and they raise what do they raise? Meat. They raise steers, black Angus steers there. And I thought, you know what? I wonder if there's any Bigfoots there. You know, I wonder if there's any in
around
that
there.
area. Yeah,
Hmm.
because there's so much wood. You know, that's so wooded around there. You
What would
know,
we do though? First I want to just know so that Ace knows it was Steve. She said, I didn't know. She said, XX, the things they did to the relatives here was so sad. Now Ace is in Australia,
Aces in
so
Australia.
yeah. And XX said she would never move that from the law. Ace said, I didn't
No,
know until I went to the museum and read it and saw the picture. Oh my God. No
yeah,
excuses for what they did at all. So, it seems to be like all across the whole world that
mm,
people have come in and wiped out another civilization that was there.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
just wiped them right out.
Dominion,
Huh?
the dominion of another race.
Yeah, like
It was
imperialism or something,
damn
right?
English. It was the damn English.
Right? Well, first it was the Portuguese. Well, the Portuguese were going into it was just everyone. You know
Well,
what
I
I
mean,
mean?
here in the Americas, you
In
know,
America, well, it was
over
the
here.
Portuguese that went to Africa and got the slaves to the white
Yeah,
people, like
yeah,
Europeans and stuff. There's no
yeah.
way they would have been able to fight the malaria and stuff that was inside the jungle.
Right. No way.
Yeah. Hmm.
They would have died.
So the
Definitely.
Portuguese were dark skinned. It had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
It
then we
does.
brought over the kissing disease. Well, not we, but white
Mm,
people.
yeah. White people
Because the
brought
Indians
over.
didn't kiss mouth to mouth. They didn't do that.
Right.
And then when we came over and started kissing them, that it was like they couldn't handle the bacteria mixing. But since
Yeah.
we've all been whores for years,
Yep.
whores for years.
Oh.
Oh, Pink Sam is going. I going. Good night. That was
Oh,
quick.
good night, pink salmon.
The way she
Pink
said it. I
Sam. I thought you
going.
said pink
Good night.
salmon.
But she was up all night with us last night.
With what?
With us on the live stream last night. She was up all
Oh,
night with us. Um,
you got to stop that.
what do you mean you don't think you're welcome, Pink?
What? Well, yeah. What do you think that for? Of course you
Yeah,
are.
why would she think that? Why would she think that?
You have to answer the question, Pink. Come on.
I
That's
know.
not true. Everybody's welcome here.
We love Pink. I love
Pink
Pink. I
Sam.
mean, like last night she was here. We were all cracking up about the whole urban slang stuff, the yak shaving,
What's
and
that? No, don't tell me. I don't.
no, no, no. Yak shaving is
Yak shaving.
Pink is from Wales, right?
Uh-oh, Pink. I'm sorry if I said something about Welsh people being nasty. That was something my husband said. I was
Maybe
explaining that my husband makes fun of my dogs. I didn't mean it like I didn't
she has never
actually
met
mean
a
it.
Welsh person. Actually, she's just talking about her dog. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
she
no,
got
no.
four.
I would if I did I say anything to offend you?
Oh no, no, that ain't. Who said the damn English? Did I say that?
Oh, I did. You know, I was just saying the damn English. I was just kidding around. I'm sorry.
I might have said it too because of
You said that, but
the when I said the Scottish, that guy Hell Freezer, which I didn't know that they don't like to be compared to the English. I'm English. I'm dual citizenship.
yeah, she is English.
Yeah, I'm
But
dual
I'm sorry.
citizenship in English. Her
I was talking
corgis.
about my corgis being Welsh Pembrokes and that they are
I
very
think too. Yeah, we all love Pink. Pink, you're part of the family.
yeah,
Are you?
no, no, Pink. I actually
Yeah,
did not mean that.
absolutely. Don't go. Are you kidding me? I would cry right now if you
No.
leave, and I'm
No,
not even kidding.
actually Wales is on my bucket list to visit, believe it or not, probably because
I
I
would love
love
to
my
go to Wales.
dogs.
I think that's where they filmed Doc Martin, but I could be wrong. But
No, they didn't. They
is
filmed
that in
Doc Martin
Cornwall?
in Cornwall. They actually did film it there. Yeah.
I love Doc Martin.
Hmm. But I always wanted
Yeah.
to go to Wales because they have some really neat old castles. You know.
Wales, I would love to go to, and Wales, what I've heard most about is like you can't. They have their own language. The Welsh, the
No,
Welsh.
you guys in the chat, it's not anybody else's fault. It was mine.
No, but I might have said about. But I
Me
was
and
wondering what the
me and
hell.
SG, we were kidding around about it, but it was a long.
But I knew
I
that
should go into the.
like Pink was from Wales, and so. But you didn't know, so but you were saying the corgis were Welsh,
Yeah,
so I
you
didn't
know why?
know.
Because no, it was funny because well, it was just because my husband worked with. He worked for this big computer company, and
Oh,
I'll
you
tell a
did
little
say
bit
that.
of it. Yeah, I'll just tell a little bit of it so I can clear it up if Pink is still here. My husband had worked with
I
some
hope so.
Irishmen and some of the guys from Wales, and the Irish guys and my husband said they really they were funny. They did everything just joking around, but they would like really rib each other, about anything. And this was, when after work when they would just go out to the pubs and stuff, and they would just rib around with each other and make some jokes. And the Irish guys always called them the Welsh guys that they're just nasty Welshmen. Oh, here comes the nasty Welshman. And they were at the pub, they were all coming in or something, and they threw out some kind of thing about the Irishman. My husband said you know he said they just enjoyed bantering back and forth, I guess, you know what I mean. So
Right.
that's why when
Yeah.
my corgis get a little snappy and stuff, my husband will go, there goes those nasty little Welshmen. And
Right. And
that's
when I
all he's,
was
and
like going, you've
it's
got a
like an
link. Have you got
inside
the link?
joke. I know. It's like an inside joke, Pink. It's which nobody here would understand, so I shouldn't have said it. But now that I kind of told you why, it was not anything bad. It was just yeah, that's all I got. That's what it was
Right.
from. I'm
No, but
sorry.
too, like that
I
when I was saying,
oh
have you got
god, I
the
feel
link?
so
I've got
bad.
the link. That was because those corgis, remember, like in the internet, it was like an internet thing, and it said how we are about the internet now or something. It was
Yeah.
on Facebook. It was but I think you can. I think I sent it to you from YouTube, and it was
I don't
two
remember.
corgis fighting about the
Yeah,
internet.
I know.
That was so funny. I loved it. I'm gonna share the link. I'm gonna go look for it. Give me a second. It was
Yeah.
so cute.
But okay,
Hmm.
Pink. She says, okay, I just love the Americans. I would never say mean things. Yeah, no, no. Like I said, I wasn't saying anything mean, per se. It was just something my husband had observed between the guys that he worked with from two different countries when he was working together with them. He had to work, they were at the Irish plant in Ireland, in Dublin. And so the Welsh were also over there being put up in hotels and stuff. And it was like a 6 month thing. And so, anyways, they all got to know each other, and so they had some camaraderie, and they did like to go to the pub after work, and but they just had some good bantering back and forth. Oh, it was all good. My husband said they were all friendly and stuff. It was just,
What
but
kind of
that's
food is like the prevalent one? Prevalent food like for Welsh. Do
yeah.
you eat haggis
What is
there too? Well, she said she eats haggis,
yeah.
and well, she said she knew about. Maybe she. I don't know if she likes haggis.
I can't say I don't like haggis, but it doesn't sound very appetizing.
I don't want it with the heart and the liver and the lung.
Yeah.
I'll eat it with the minced meat and the
Mm-hmm.
spices and the seasoning. And they said on that Hell Freezer channel that they don't
Hell
cook it
freezer.
in a cow's stomach anymore.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. They cooked that in a. Oh wow.
Cow's stomach. Remember when Izzy told us?
Yep, that's
Yeah,
right. Oof.
yeah. I don't know how to react, so I thought I would just let
Oh,
you get good. We're glad, Pink, because
okay,
no
Pink.
way.
Thank you. Thanks
And
so
I'm glad
much,
you
Pink.
said something and didn't
I'm
just
so
really
sorry.
into this English, so like the chippy and stuff.
Same food
And
as
this guy
English.
was like,
Okay.
he liked haggis. He liked it sliced, and then he would
Yeah,
like,
sliced. Mm. Is it kind of
what
like
do you eat?
bologna?
I don't
Like you
know.
could
He said
fry it or something.
heart and
Uh,
lungs. See, I would
Oh,
think that would taste like texture-wise like liver.
That's kind of like my father-in-law used to eat blood sausages.
Yeah,
Oh,
right. He talked about that too. He likes those too.
yeah, really?
I was like, oh, we gotta have like a haggis with a side of blood sausage with spotted
Whew.
dick for dessert.
Spotted dick, that cracks me up.
Spotted dick.
I mean, that's like a pudding, right? With the currants in it.
No, it's a sponge cake or something. I
Sponge
think
cake?
Pink said.
Okay.
Sponge. It's in a can. I thought it was in
Yeah,
a can.
I've actually seen that in a can
Yeah, in
in
a
the
can.
store. Yeah, spotted dick.
Yeah, it's got
Huh.
like currants in it. I think currants.
Ace is like, no, yuck.
Yeah, and oh well, yeah. But they said that there is vegetarian haggis.
Okay, that's good.
But and it's done now in a I don't know what they call it, like a fake sausage bag,
A
but it's
fake
not. It's
sausage.
not.
Oh,
It's not that.
yeah. I wonder what it
It's
is.
vegetarian.
But I don't need to know. I probably
Now, see,
won't
so
be
Ace doesn't
ordering
even
that
eat
out.
fish and chips. No fish and chips either. Like being a vegetarian, does that mean that you won't eat
Mm.
fish?
I think if you're a vegetarian, you would eat fish and chips, but if you were a vegan, you wouldn't, because there are no eggs and no fish. Vegetarians, it
Not for the
depends. That
better.
they can eat fish and eggs, but then some won't eat dairy, or some won't eat fish, but they'll eat dairy. You know.
I will eat chips and eggs. I watched a show one time, and the guy was like, "Chip and egg, chip and egg. That's all you've got for dinner." But I like chips and eggs. My mother used to make chips and eggs.
Oh, I bet their fish and chips over there is to die for. I
Oh
love
my
fish
god,
and
it was so
chips.
good, and they really would wrap it up in newspaper.
Uh-huh. They still
Hmm.
do, right? They still
Uh,
do?
I don't know. It's like a fake newspaper now. I think. Well, I don't know. I haven't been back.
Hmm.
So Ace is vegan, no fish,
Eggs or
eggs,
butter. I see. Yeah. No
butter. Why no
dairy.
butter?
It's dairy. The dairy
No
is,
way.
yeah, I know.
She said she
Giving
would
up
only
butter would
eat,
kill me.
huh?
Giving up butter would just about kill me.
I know. What am I gonna dip
Yeah.
my clams into?
I don't know.
Stuff or
Or
anything.
my,
I mean,
I know. Butter.
what do you
Oh,
put on your toast, Ace? She doesn't eat
Vegemite.
Vegemite,
Oh,
but
she doesn't eat Vegemite.
that's a beef broth. Did you know that? With
Oh, I
blood
didn't
in it.
know.
Blood in it. That's
That
when
must be an acquired taste, huh?
they say it's
Ooh.
good.
Yogurt, dairy, but I do not drink chocolate milk.
You don't? Oh, she drinks chocolate.
Oh, but I do drink.
Cheater!
Oh,
Cheater!
hey, some things you can't give up.
Oh,
Life's too short, right, Ace?
I love chocolate milk. I
Me
used to work
too.
at a place, Abdow's. You remember Abdow's, Big Boy?
Oh gosh, yeah, I do remember that
Yep.
place.
They used to have
I
the
still like
coldest
that.
chocolate milk that you could just,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could get.
Hmm.
They were,
Good and
mm-mm.
frothy.
Oh, and it was
My
so
mother used
cold.
to put it. My mother used to put it through the blender. She made us chocolate milk, and she just put
Was
like
it
a scoop.
Ovaltine?
No, she just did
Uh,
Hershey's chocolate milk, but she would put like a scoop of either vanilla or chocolate ice cream in it, whichever she had.
mm.
Oh, that was so
Now
good. It was
making me hungry.
more like a not a smoothie, but kind of like what do you call them? A frosty
Like
or
a
something like
shake.
that. Kind of like a
No,
shake.
Frosty
She
from
just did.
Wendy's. That's good stuff. A Frosty from Wendy's. I could go
I
for one of
know.
those right now.
Well,
I-
if you're a good girl, maybe I'll get you one.
Oh my God, I'd be melted by the time you got it here. You know what I did? I bought ice cream cones and forgot to buy ice cream.
Oh my,
And I bought hot
that's
dog buns
terrible.
and forgot to buy hot dogs.
It looks like you're going back out.
I know,
You're
right?
not hurting
I
anything.
haven't bothered.
So
And then, so I had bought though. Let's
she
see,
says,
right?
yeah.
Yes, chocolate. Right, mate. Yes, chocolate milk is good. Not hurting anything. So I definitely do chocolate milk.
That's
That's it.
definitely not
Do they sound good?
Australian. No, you don't sound Australian at all.
That's Ace though. Yeah, I know. I don't know how to talk Australian.
No, you
Isn't
don't.
that so funny? Right, yes, but
You know
chocolate
what?
milk is
Talking
good,
about
not hurting anything. Listen to
I,
that, though.
you know what I gotta
Really
look
read
up?
that.
Talking about whales. Pink.
Wales the
I've been
country or
doing,
Wales the animal?
yeah, whales the country. I've
Mm-hmm.
been looking into, of course, SG got me onto this. Now I can't stop. But I've
Bigfoot?
been, yep. Do you
You are
know
just Bigfoot.
Wales has had, I mean, they have quite a few of them there. And they found DNA from the Bigfoots in Wales. And I think they were testing that DNA and it came up. I went to England, is what happened. And it came up as part human and then the other part an undiscoverable species. So Wales has a lot of Bigfoot. If you're living out, I don't know if you live in the city or in really wooded areas, but if you're ever interested in that sort of thing, I guess there's a lot of sightings on that.
It was last night that Spaceman was talking about them, mixing the DNA of animals and human beings and making these
Really,
things. So I
yeah.
wonder, like maybe,
I
they
tell
just
you, they say that there's a lot of with the Bigfoots. I've been listening to quite a few people on them with the DNA that Scott Carpenter, and it seems that they're very much associated with the paranormal. They're interdimensional.
I think so.
They are. Have you
Yep.
listened to that How to Hunt channel? He had actually, oh, actually, that was a really good one. I should, I'm going to go try to find this link because I believe,
Yeah, but Pink, listen,
I
she said
think,
that. Let me just ask you a question. Pink, do you
no,
think that those big cats, panthers, do you think that they eat the sheep maybe sometimes? Do
yeah,
you think possibly you have extra large wolves? We want to hear anything cryptic.
yeah,
She says big sheep, but I guess
yeah.
like a bad mean sheep would be.
That's a bad joke.
I
No,
know.
but Pink, I'm telling you, there's like all these very credible sightings of them. I was reading about. I've got to I'm gonna have to find that, drop that link. It was a really good. It was one of the stories on this guy, and he was from either Wales or the UK, and his paranormal experience was unbelievable. And he was a PhD. He was a physicist, and he was hiking, and he had this really weird experience. But I think he was hiking. I want to say he was in Wales. I'm gonna have to go back and look for the story, and then the next time we're all on here, Pink, and I see you, I'll drop the link. And
I wish I could read two at the same time. I can't wait for the books to come in. I like
uh,
reading.
what
And
book?
the only book that I have next to me is like one about musicians and like what happened to them. And it's by that Pamela something, remember her? She was like some let me look, I'll show you. Maybe her name's not Pamela.
I don't know.
It's oh wait, that's not it. That's closer. Hold on. There's Cleopatra. Maybe I don't have it close by me.
Always, I think they mess with our food, definitely. The genetically modified
I
stuff
got
and
March of the Penguins.
for books.
March of the Penguins. I got
Okay.
I got this. I got One Night
Oh,
Stand
so our woods are tiny.
with Americans.
But now, Pink, don't you have a lot of area with mountains and stuff like that are big like that? I'm wondering and how you're connected, with to do if you're connected with England. I gotta look at a map. I'm gonna just
That's
check a
big
map
cat
real quick.
fighting.
Let me find a map for Wales.
So, so Pink said we have a lot of big cat sightings. Our woods are tiny. Never heard about any Bigfoot here, but I'm Bigfoot mad. So is Prudently. You know what her husband, we do what Wales is saying. First of all, let me just say, Izzy one time thought that she saw a panther in Scotland when she was on the train. Um, remember that? Were you here for that story?
I don't
That she was
know.
on
I'm
the train
sorry.
with her husband, and
Oh
they were
yeah.
like a
Yep.
meadow, a field or something, and
Yep.
and there was a panther that she
Wow.
saw. And Prudently, yes, she is hooked on Bigfoot. And when she got hooked, like in the beginning, her husband said, "Are you still watching Bigfoot stuff or whatever?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he goes, um, "Did you see one? Do you have something you need to tell me?" and
He was all
she,
nervous.
yeah, he's all nervous because they live near the woods. And
Yeah.
he's he then she says, "No." And he goes, "Would you tell me if you did see one?" Yeah, that's what he said. "Did you see one?"
Yep, I know. He was like thinking I'm keeping something from him. Oh, wait a minute. The Cambrian Mountains. Cambrian Mountains, Pink. Is that where? I'm trying to think. Is that what he said? Cambrian Mountains or something like that?
um,
Oh, man. That's going to drive me nuts now.
yeah, but the Loch Ness Monster's Scotland, right? But any lake is really Loch, yeah, except for anything outside of
I
Scotland.
thought, no, sir. That's funny. Oh, look at
You
that. There's a
just me
shoe
earlier,
store.
Prudently. It was so funny. We were doing like accents,
I
So
can
let's
just
see.
imagine.
If I was to base Pink's accent on those corgis. Now, did anybody watch that video that I posted in here?
Wait a
Those
minute.
corgis fighting on the internet. They're very funny. So I would have to go. I can't. I just can't do like the English stuff. I was better at
Oh,
the
Pink
Russian.
says we have the Loch Ness Monster. There's the Cumbrian Mountains. Um, and I think that's where in
She
Wales
said she
they've
lives
been
near
spotted.
Snowdon Mountain. A
Okay.
story I always thought was kind of creepy. Like, I'm not sure of the people in it, and I'm not even sure where it occurred. But I know it was over there in like Europe, but around like Ukraine or somewhere like that,
Mm-hmm.
Austria, somewhere like that. Um, and it was a farmhouse, and they said that the 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 maid left, and a new maid came with her 2-year-old son,
Mm-hmm.
and the family was like a mother, a father, and a daughter, and then you got the maid with her 2-year-old son, and the maid left because she was hearing stuff like
Uh,
hearing things as if
yeah.
somebody was maybe camping out in the place where they
Mm,
live, up
yeah.
in like the attic or something. And then it was a long time ago. I think they knocked the place down, but they had cows and everything. And when they finally came and found this family that had each been murdered, and I think if you look it up, you could read it to us actually. Yeah, prudently. Um,
Okay.
but
Homework.
yeah, you can do it right now. But they found that there was tracks around the house that looked like but they lived so deep in the woods that it was, like very strange that anybody would be out there anyway,
Yeah.
walking stuff. But there was tracks in the snow,
Hmm.
and the newspaper was taken in. The cows were milked, but everybody had been dead for like a couple of weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The Prudently's all freaking still like she's like, "Oh, I've been
Mm,
reading about the Yowzies in Australia."
I know.
What are
I,
Yowzies? What
that's
is
what they
that?
call Bigfoot in some
Oh,
parts of Australia. Now, I'm not sure. And in New Zealand, too. I mean, there's been a lot of sightings. So, yeah, it's crazy. Once you
New
start digging
Zealand?
into
Really?
it, once you start digging into it,
See,
it's
in
an
New
it.
Zealand, I would think maybe that could be one of those big Maori guys, and they mistake him for Bigfoot.
I don't know. I don't know. It really is. I think they're starting to show themselves to more people.
Is it the
It would appear that
Maori?
way.
How do you say it?
Well,
Maori?
I don't know. What are you trying to say?
The
The
tribes
tribe
in New Zealand. Yeah, Maori
of
is Maori. Maori.
I don't know. You got
I used to
me.
love that show, Sensing Murder.
What
Oh
was
my
it?
God. I'm telling you, those psychics, they had to be,
Oh,
I don't think they were faking it.
no.
Mm-mm. But now it seems like it's part of like, you know, how you can switch to like pay YouTube and get different shows, like how they're slowly doing that.
Hmm.
It seems like they took some of there's still a few of them up. One of them is this blonde guy, the psychic blonde guy, and he's Australian, but the show actually takes place most of the time in New Zealand.
Okay.
And they fly these psychics. Oh my God. You don't even, I'm just telling you that even like the skeptic police officer wanted to like watch them make the show from start to end and see if there
Okay.
was anything that he could see that made him, debate what they were
Mm-hmm.
doing or if they were, fake and
Oh,
see that the cameraman were giving any like, signals or anything.
yeah.
But they would have the people come, and they would blindfold them, but they didn't even know what airport they were flying into. And then they would certainly holy shit, it's very interesting and amazingly what our government, oh I know, right? I love watching documentaries about I have to look that up after. But they fly them in, they don't even know where they're going. They don't know what the
Mm,
case is. Sometimes most of the time there was two on it
really?
and each one had a certain amount of hours. It seemed like a lot of times I don't feel like the amount of hours was giving anybody any closure because
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of times it didn't show a follow up like on where they said, this person could be found because they didn't have enough time.
I see.
One of them that I watched though was there was a psychic and he was really good. Um, but when they were pulling into this like really dense forest, like, the bush, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And and he saw this girl by a red hatchback car and she kept saying, like trying to like trying to get his attention while they were pulling, because they go pretty slow. Because the psychic
Yeah.
actually will say, keep going down this road, keep going down this road. It's really weird, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they tell them exactly, like they'll say, pull over at this house. And I
Mm,
mean, it'll be like their son's house or something, the person's house where they're looking,
yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
crazy. Um, and he kept seeing this girl by a red car trying to flag him down. And he said, "Ah, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go in here." He said, I feel sick. He said, I feel like there are so many people here that he quit. He quit being a psychic that day.
Hmm.
Literally, he quit. He said,
Wow.
I'm never doing this again. I feel sick. And like now, if you look him up on YouTube,
Okay.
truthfully, he quit. He just does like, like astrology stuff and everything. He doesn't go
Oh,
out anymore and try to start.
really?
Oh my God.
Wow.
He said, get me out of here. He said, there is so many bodies buried here.
Really?
It was like but also they felt like maybe he was also even picking up even if it was like Indians and natives and stuff,
Oh,
and that there was so many bodies. Even so, then the blonde guy, I think, was the one that stepped in for him,
yeah.
and even there was bodies found, but they were ancient. But then, of course, they don't doesn't go long enough. A lot of things just don't
Oh,
follow up. I like watching the follow up shows.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So she said, have you ever hear of Rh negative blood are not human?
yeah.
I
I've heard
wonder
of
if that's what
RH
the V
negative.
person has. Huh.
Huh.
Remember he kept bitching about his blood?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And we kept
Oh,
saying, Like, oh yeah, okay, like there's some blood like that. Remember?
Okay.
I did anyway.
Yeah.
I said it just like that too. I'm gonna mute myself for 1 minute. I just want to quick heat something
Okay.
up. Keep the show going.
Okay.
All right.
Keep it going. I don't know if I can do this.
Oh, come on now.
Oh, Pink said the negative blood first showed up in Europe and they don't know where it came from. Yeah, I wonder. You know, although they say they don't know where it came from, probably means the government does know where it came from. They're just not going to tell us. Oh, have a different look. What else? What did I miss here? Anything? Oh yeah, Race. Oh boy. There's a lot of the what do I want to call it? There's a lot of paranormal stuff coming out now. Um, if you watch that site by Dave Paulides, he's bringing to light a lot of missing people, and he's just covering right now. Of course, he's just covering the United States, Canada, British Columbia, just North America. But it's amazing how many people have just gone missing, like poof. Um, and there's no explanations. Can't find them. Um, it's unbelievable. If you go on YouTube right here, you can look up and you can watch the movie for free on YouTube. It's called The Missing. I'll try and go and find it and drop the link. Um, oh, XX. I'm RH negative, and it is so odd. You have to get a shot after trauma to your inside. Yep, yep. Yeah, my two oldest daughters, XX, have factor five, and that's part of the RH negative thing, I think. It comes from their father's side. He was my first husband. I was married years ago when I was 19, and they were from my first marriage. And yeah, so, well, my second daughter, she doesn't have any children yet, but my first
Yeah.
one, yeah, I don't know if she's going to have any anyway, but the first one, she has four. And so she had to get the shot after all four of them. And of course, they told my second daughter if she had any children or trauma, she would too, you know. So it's scary, you know. I mean, isn't it great that they know this stuff, of course, and there is something to, um, you know, fix the clotting and everything, which is great, you know. But yeah, you just can't get blood from anyone either. Yeah. Yep. Oh, Pink, you saw the missing 411 already. Did you see it, Ace? Oh, yeah. No, you didn't. Okay. I'm going to try to drop the link. Pink, did you know there's two of them? Did you know there's just the missing 411 and then there's the missing 411, the hunted, where he just covers hunters?
I like the second one better.
The hunting one?
Yeah.
You do, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think the first one. Well, it kind of.
Wait,
I'm gonna be
wait a
honest.
minute.
I kind of fell asleep halfway through the first one,
Oh,
so
wait a minute.
I
XX
actually
said,
fell
yeah,
asleep
I
at
had
one
no
point
clue. Hold on,
about
Ace.
the two of them.
Not Ace. XX said, yeah, she had no clue till you had. How did you find out, XX? Did they find out by drawing your blood, or did you have issues with the delivery and the birth? You
Why
know?
does she have RX, H negative, or whatever it is?
Yeah. So she has that, what's called, like my daughter has the factor five.
I never heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, so you've seen him, Pink. Yep. She's seen both of them. Which one did you like better, Pink? I think I
The
liked
first
the first
one,
one, but you know what?
yeah, that weird is weird. Though. You know what? I think I'm more apt to believe that little kids could, you know, walk around and keep trying to find home and just keep going, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And at that age, like at 3 or 4, they're not scared yet. They're not,
Hmm.
thinking of what's going to be out in the woods. They're just trying to get home. So they just keep going and then they fall asleep when they fall asleep, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, a couple of those little kids that were walking, but the hunter ones, I always feel like if we were to like really do really in-depth research, that we would find there's some kind of common denominator
Yeah.
between.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try
Yeah.
to find this for Ace and drop the
All right.
link.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let's
Yeah, I was
see.
watching a show the other night. You guys know I always watch that. It's called That Chapter, and it's that Irish guy Mike. Oh, he's so funny. He is so funny, and he always says, it was the 30th of May. Oh, he's just the stuff he says is just so funny, and you have to watch him.
Okay.
He is hysterical. It's called That Chapter, and
All right. Here you
so he
go.
did one on.
Ace, I just dropped the link for you.
Oh my god, I totally just got blacked out.
Wow.
Hmm. Well, there
Huh.
was. Oh, okay. Okay, so there was
Yeah.
one on this chick. She was like 22 years old, but she said she'd been killing people since she was 13.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah,
Whoa.
so like the FBI steps in,
Wow.
but then they step out and say, oh, there's no,
Yeah.
no proof to her saying that, and then they, ask her again, like, after she already convicted, and she's like, no, I didn't. Thing is,
Mm.
though, there's probably like so many unsolved crimes that
Yeah.
I bet you they could match up to what
Mm-hmm.
she
Mm-hmm.
said, the states she lived in during the time she lived there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And she's
Wow.
like, let's bank it. He was like, you can't while you're pregnant. What does that mean, bank it? Oh, I'm AB
Blood.
negative. 6% of the world has it. They did it because I'm so small. They thought I needed a C-section. Thank God I did.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the doctor was like, I hope you don't need blood. He's like, you have rare blood. Then
Yeah.
I was like, let's bank it. And he was like, you can't while you're pregnant. Shaking my head. Wow, you would think that they would tell somebody that ahead of time. Like, was that the first time you ever heard of that? Was when you were pregnant? Like,
They
that
did it
seems like you
because
would
I'm
know
so
something like that
small. Oh,
before,
yeah.
right? Oh, thank you. Just went to the link.
Yeah.
I've just got to phone my mom and check she's got out of bed. Okay, she's 82. Okay. All right. Right.
Oh, okay. Pink.
Lucky Pink has
Oh,
her
she's
mom.
82. Wow. Yeah.
82. I
Oh,
know.
I
My mother
always
died.
forget. Yeah, you're 5 years ahead of us. So she's just getting up at 7.
5 hours.
Yeah, they're 5 hours difference,
In
right? Yeah.
England, yeah, right. It's
7
always weird to
a.m.
me, the freaking time difference.
Mm,
It's weird to me how it can be New Year's Eve one place and
I
then
know,
be like
huh?
past New Year's Eve in another place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, how can it possibly be, you know,
It's a great mystery of life,
sure. I agree.
right?
Everybody must, what do you think? Like, was, I don't see secular here. And he was all on the thing going, oh, start early, my Jewish princess. Did he say this? Western comments? He's so funny.
Oh,
He
is
was
he on
getting
Bob?
some
Maybe it's with
razzing. Like,
Baubles.
he's over there with Bubbles, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I said, is it? Doesn't
Mr.
he usually
Rourke
go there?
said,
Oh, where is Mr. Rourke? Huh?
yeah, well, I freaking texted him because I was like, I go, you gotta text me at least one word. I said, because,
Uh-huh.
I don't know you well, but I know that I like you a lot. And, like family, like,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and that, if you, if I don't know if you're the type of person who might be sad or whatever, and how you react when you're sad or if you're mad or what goes on.
yeah.
So just send me a word so I know you're okay,
Mm-hmm.
hmm
I gotcha. Oh,
And he did.
she didn't want to talk. Sam's back. She didn't want to talk. I love that.
Oh, your mother didn't want to talk? Oh my God, that's so funny. Your mother, she's like, all right, I gotta go.
I
I've
know.
heard
Look at.
enough.
I just love elders.
I heard enough about your YouTube friend. I'm like just like my dog Roscoe. Not when I lately when I've been getting up, I've been pretty good. Pretty even for like as Prudently says that I'm not getting enough sleep. She thinks because
I
I'm
don't
up
think so. I think
doing the live.
you're throwing your whole system off being up all night.
I go to sleep and then I get up and I'm happy.
Hmm. Okay.
And I'm happy.
Mm-mm. I don't like to talk when I first get up either. It's like you can't even really look at me. I need to have a coffee and just open my eyes, and nobody needs to look at me or talk to me. I know it sounds horrible, but I've always been like that. I just don't like to talk. I have to have a piece of toast and a coffee. And then, yeah,
My mother used
you
to always
know,
say if you had gone out drinking, when you get home, always have a cup of tea and some toast, and you'll feel better in the morning.
really. I was always told to take aspirin.
I think she might have said that too. Yeah. I'm
Oh,
up every day,
XX.
no later than 7.
Oh, I wish I was up that early every day.
Not
Some days are
me.
better than others.
Yeah, but you get up early when you're bringing your
I
grandkids.
know. Yeah, I do get. I mean, I try to get up early, just and especially if I have to work and stuff. But um, some days I had to get up, with the pain. So,
It's freaking early. Hey,
ugh,
Sylvania, do you ever hear from Dimebag Darrell anymore? Or have you ever
dime bag.
talked to him?
Me?
No, Ace.
Oh, Ace.
Like speaking of people that like you meet on YouTube and then suddenly they
I remember
disappear
him.
out of your.
Yeah, Dimebag Daryl. I remember that name.
His real name was Chris,
Okay.
but he lived like in Virginia, I
Was
think.
he on Tom's channel?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I saw that name somewhere.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and me and Ace, we would talk to him quite a bit. And
Okay. Oh.
yeah, and now lately I mean, not just lately, like freaking like I remember I talked to him before Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
That
Haven't
was
seen him
how long?
around.
A long time ago. Yeah. And he hasn't answered his phone or nothing.
Oh.
Or
Maybe he
text
moved.
or
No,
anything.
moved.
Yeah, but he'd still have the same phone.
Oh,
Cell
true.
phone. Yeah. And one night somebody came in my live stream with a name like Dimebag Darrell.
Hmm.
But I don't know if it was or not. I don't know. I don't think so. I
Pink's
think
mother was
somebody.
grumpy.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
She was grumpy. I went to Arby's earlier and got some sliders.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that's what I'm heating up.
Mm.
Sliders and crinkle fries. What are you eating?
A piece of ice. Sounds
That's
awful,
it?
right? Yep. I
Piece
just
of
had to. You know how sometimes you want something cold in your mouth, like.
Oh my God. These two animals, like the cat and the dog, they're both like fighting for my lap right now.
Oh, where is my cat?
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh my
Well, I
God.
gotta get to bed. It's
I
2:05
know,
a.m.
honey.
here, people.
I hear you. I think I'm gonna actually end the stream too because I'm gonna watch a movie and lay down. I got a doctor's appointment in the morning.
Oh, do you?
I do for like the results.
Oh, okay. So is your
Yeah.
friend going with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're all
Yeah.
set then? You don't need a ride or anything?
No, I'm good. He texted in and said he set his alarm for 10.
Okay. What
So
time is your appointment?
11:20.
Oh, all right. Well, let me know how you make out.
I will. I'll let
You
everybody
know,
know.
please.
I'll let everybody know, even the people who don't want to know. Well, I
Okay.
don't know, depending, but I'm sure I'll let
Yeah.
you know before I let everybody
Okay. All right.
know.
Hey,
All
good night,
right, love you.
everybody.
So count down with me.
It was nice
All
talking to everybody.
right, we loved your stories too. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm glad.
It
I'm
was so
glad you liked my
awesome.
My
We were
little,
all like so attentive to
my little tails.
it. Next time we'll do it though when
Next
of
time. Okay, I can see this is going to become a regular thing.
course it is. I mean, you ordered the book, right?
I ordered the book. Oh, I shouldn't have said
Oh,
that.
Rachel Reed,
Dang.
we were just ending it. Oh my
Oh,
God.
Rochelle, we were just saying good
Sorry,
night.
Rachel. We were just
Yeah,
about to do the
you're welcome,
countdown.
XX. And all the best tomorrow, XX.
Thank you. I know,
Yeah.
XX, sorry.
Yeah, I'll be
Yes, I'm
thinking of
ending
you.
this live, Rachel.
Okay, love
You've been on for a
everybody.
while.
You guys
So
take
count down
care.
with me, would you?
I'll count down.
Okay. All right.
5.
1, 2, 3. Let's do it.
Okay,
5,
5, 4,
4, 3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
Peace, love, and
Peace, love, and
tacos.
tacos.
Good night,
Nighty
everyone.
night.
All right. Bye.
Good night.
Night. Love you all.